And we are back. Welcome to my prediction for tomorrow's FA Cup final at Wembley. The first of two finals taking place at Wembley this weekend to round off the English domestic season. We have the FA Cup final taking place tomorrow, and then we have the Championship playoff final on Sunday. And I will be doing a video covering that prediction tomorrow morning, so make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on my playoff final prediction video coming for you tomorrow. Also, before we get into this, a quick plug to say if you missed yesterday's podcast, the first podcast on this channel, myself and a few of my mates discussed what we think the final 26-man England squad should be. So make sure you check that one out. It's an hour-long video. Like I say, it's the first ever podcast on the channel. So I'd be very interested to know what you guys think of that. But before we get into it, if you haven't done so already, please do consider dropping a like on this video if you do enjoy my predictions. And like I said, final prediction for the English domestic season tomorrow before we have two more European finals taking place next week. Then, of course, all eyes will be on the Euros and the Copa America for this channel coming up for you over the next couple of months. So, like I said already, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on any of those prediction videos coming out for you in the next couple of months. And without any further ado, let's do it. One last time, the FA Cup final taking place tomorrow. And for the second year running, it is Manchester City against Manchester United, a Manchester derby in the FA Cup final for the second year running. And I mean, I have to look at this as a Manchester United fan and say that, look, I sat here at this time last year, and when I did my video last year, I said Manchester United would have to have the absolute game of their lives if they were going to win the FA Cup final over Manchester City. I said it would take everything and potentially a little bit of luck to get a result. And my prediction this time last year was a 3-0 win to Manchester City. I now look at these two sides this season and say, arguably, Manchester City are better than what they were last season. Yes, they're not going to win back-to-back trebles, but they are on course for back-to-back doubles. And what people aren't talking about, there's people saying that Manchester City aren't as good this season as they were last season. They got more points this season than they did last season. It's just Arsenal pushed them a little bit further this year than they did last year. But Manchester City ended up with 2 more points this year in the Premier League than they did last year. So Man City are playing better. The only thing is they lost to Real Madrid on penalties. They're still in the FA Cup final. They still won the league. Manchester United, on the other hand, have gone from 3rd to 8th. And last year, we won the Carabao Cup. This year, we didn't get anywhere. Yes, we've got to back-to-back FA Cup finals, but our league position has gone from 3rd to 8th. In Europe, we got knocked out in the group stage. We are having a much, much worse season, and Manchester City are having a better season. I don't think there is a realistic world where we can say we are going to win this game. I don't think any Manchester United fan can honestly sit here and say that Manchester United are going to win this game. Is there a possibility that they could win this game? Of course there is. We have proven on multiple occasions this season that in some of the big games, we can turn up and get results. Look at the games against Liverpool. Look at the games actually against City this season. No one expected us to have a good performance against City this season. And even the game at the Etihad, when we went 1-0 up, we put up a hell of a fight in that game. And it took an absolute worldie from Phil Foden to get Man City level. And then unfortunately from there, with Johnny Evans going off injured, we then ended up crumbling towards the end of that match. But we've got players back for this game. Rashford is back. Varane could be back for his final ever Manchester United appearance. The only player that's probably going to be missing that would be an absolute necessity if everyone was fit is Luke Shaw. But I look at this game and all the stories, you know, sort of as a football romantic as I always claim to be, all the stories going into this game are Manchester United stories, bar one, and that is that Man City are going for the double-double, which, fair play to them if they pull it off. But for Manchester City, that's really the only story. For Manchester United, it's can they do over the wrong of last season? 13 seconds it took Manchester City to score. Just getting past 13 seconds is an achievement for Manchester United in this game. That's the first story. Can Marcus Rashford come back in what could end up being his final game for Manchester United at Wembley in front of Gareth Southgate, who's just admitted him from the England squad? Can he show Gareth Southgate why he should still be included? You got, like I said, Varane coming back into the side for his final game for Manchester United. Could he make a difference? Martinez is back from injury. Could he make a difference? You know, the youngsters, the teenagers, Garnacho, Højlund, well, I know they're not all teenagers, but Garnacho, Højlund, Ahmad, can they come in and prove the doubters wrong, that they can turn up in a big game and get a result? I just look at it and I just think that all the big stories are Manchester United stories. Obviously, the biggest of them all. Erik ten Hag, is he destined to repeat what happened to Louis van Gaal? Is he going to win the FA Cup and then still get sacked by Manchester United, with the rumours yesterday that we've already held talks with our former assistant Kieran McKenna, obviously now Ipswich Town manager? Can Erik ten Hag actually deliver the FA Cup and then get sacked? It's all Manchester United. All the stories going into this game are Manchester United stories. And I might just be looking through that on the perspective of I am a Manchester United fan. But I genuinely think that all bar Man City going for a double-double, all the stories going into this game are Manchester United stories. And I'd be curious, as obviously I'm a Manchester United fan, I want Manchester United to win. Where do you guys sit as neutrals going into this match? Who do you actually want to win? Do you want Manchester United to win this game because you don't want Man City to keep winning trophies? Or do you still want Manchester United to lose because you still hate Manchester United for all the stuff we won 20 years ago? I'd be very curious to know what you guys think about it. But unfortunately, with all these stories seemingly pointing towards Manchester United, the problem is English football hasn't been a Manchester United story for the last 10 years. It's been a Manchester City story. And it's been a Pep Guardiola story. And like I've already spoken about, Manchester City are just a much better team than Manchester United. And like I said, they're playing better this season. And we're playing worse. So I'm obviously going for a Manchester City win. The question is, by how much? Weirdly, as I've already said, last year I went for 3-0. This year I'm going for 3-1. I genuinely think we can score in this. I really do. I think with the players that we've got coming back, we're likely to field our strongest 11 we fielded since Christmas. The only players we've got missing for this game are Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, Malacia, and I think Mason Mount's probably not going to make it. But I've seen him training. I've seen Martial training. Again, I talk about stories. Could Martial come back in what's definitely going to be his final game for Manchester United and make some sort of impact in the FA Cup like he did a few years ago with that late winner against Everton? We could field a very, very strong side in this game, and we could cause Manchester City problems. And that's why I've given us a goal. I think with Rasmus coming into the side, the form he's been in the last couple of games, he could cause problems. I think Rashford, with the motivation of proving Gareth Southgate wrong, could cause problems. Garnacho and Ahmad have been absolutely phenomenal recently. Bruno seems to have had the weight lifted off him a little bit by how well the players around him have been playing. We can definitely cause Man City problems in this game. I just don't think it'll be enough to get a result. So I'm going for 3-1 to Manchester City. Obviously, I'm going to be giving it the big one as a Manchester United fan. I'm desperate for us to get out of this season. But I'm even more desperate for us to get out of this season with a win and with a trophy. And to put a marker on Manchester City to at least end the season on some sort of high for us. But obviously, there is the worry that we get beat 5 or 6-0 here. And it wouldn't surprise me one bit to see us get beat 5 or 6-0 here. But I'm optimistic. I hope Manchester United can get the win. I believe Manchester City will get the win. But that's how I see it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching as always. Don't forget to check out, like I said, the podcast that we posted yesterday. And stick around for the playoff final prediction between Southampton and Leeds tomorrow morning. Thank you very much for watching once again. I'll see you there.